Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Monday morning. Happy second recording. I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as season. I got a word for you. Tap in. Happy second recording, guys. Am I the only person who's allergic to pollen? It's so annoying. I want to drop this really quickly while it's in my spirit. God sees all. God sees all. God sees all. Okay, so here is something that only a small percentage of people will understand. Not even in the way of just like trying to shade people, but you have people who are less elevated, less evolved than not. So it's not a good or bad thing. It is what it is. But once God starts to shift you higher and higher and higher and higher, you learn so much things along the way. And it's not to say that you're perfect. In fact, you will never be perfect. But then there are certain things that you learn along the way, meaning the importance of when God called you to steward something, when God have blessed you with something, right? You can't take shortcuts. God sees all. So when you think you're taking shortcuts and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing with the spirit of excellence, again, not perfect, but with the spirit of excellence, God sees all. The contradiction is you will have individuals who they feel as if, wow, God have really blessed you, or God have really this, or you're so strong and you're so wonderful and you're so this and you're so that and da-da-da-da, right? But what they don't understand is that God increases you when you have mastered a certain level of obedience. And along with some of those levels, God teaches you, you can't take shortcuts. You can't do your stuff half behind, right? Again, it's not to say that you're perfect and you won't miss the mark, but it's more so less about having that mindset that you just want to do what you want to do. You don't want to take people's advice. You don't want to follow instructions. You just want to do what you want to do. That's fine. Do you, boo. But God sees all. And the way I've seen God work on countless times, God will bring it to your attention. He will watch you. He will have somebody convict you. He will watch you. He himself will convict you. He will watch you. And then he's realizing that you're being ungrateful for the blessing that he has given you. So the very same blessing that he's blessed you with, he could have given it to anybody, truth be told. But he chose you. And you're going to blatantly disrespect God's blessing or what he's called you to steward because you want to do what you want to do. God sees all. So, in saying that, it's not like God has favorites and God just choose a handful of people to do this and steward this. No, people had to be transformed. People had to go through hell and back probably 1,000 times. So don't ever just look at anyone in the world, anyone, and feel that God just handpick a person because, I don't know, because they smile a lot. Honey, anybody that you look at and you feel like God have elevated them or whatever you see, trust me when I tell you, no one escapes it. They've been through hell and back, and they've learned how God operates through these different seasons. So one of the most annoying things, well, there's a lot of things annoying, but one of the most annoying things is, again, the contradiction of when people come to you and they want information or they want help or they want to know how can God do this and how and then when you try to sit them down to help them to understand that there's a lot of things that go into it, right? God will watch you with the small things. If you can't steward the small things properly, if you can't follow orders from the individuals who's over you, even though they may be younger than you, but God placed them over you. If you can't follow orders and directions, if you feel like you just want to do whatever you want to do, you will not be elevated. So the contradiction of people who admire and just, I don't know. But then when you sit them down to help them try to understand, listen, you moving sideways. That's not proper. So when you call them out, right? When you call them out, then they feel like you're just picking on them or you're being hard on them. But people don't understand that iron sharpening iron is what will get you elevated, and your obedience to that. This is why the percentage of individuals who are elevated and who God is moving higher and higher and higher and higher is so small, because people are stuck in these mindsets. You're stuck in these mindsets. Well, I'm just do what I want to do, and I'm just do what you do, boo. But God done tapped me. Once God tapped me and said, that's it. Oh, that's it. Because now you're disrespecting, first and foremost, God. And next, you're disrespecting the person that God has placed in your life as a vessel to be able to bless you. Personally, flesh, me, I'll give people more than one chance, just depending on what it is. Let me be clear. Just depending on what it is. But when it's just like little small little things or whatever, because we're human, but when it's consistently over and over and over, that we're dealing with the same problem. You want to do what you want to do. You don't want to follow directions. I tell you one thing, you do it the next. You got to go. Once God tapped me, you got to go. Period. No matter what my emotions say, no matter what my heart say, no matter what, oh, kids eating this big heart, you got to go. Period. And those of you who God have placed in positions to steward things, when God starts convicting you that certain people are not moving accordingly, certain people are not appreciating his blessings, it is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to move these people out of the way. If you don't, then the thing that you're stewarding is going to be in jeopardy. You're going to be in jeopardy, actually. Because you will be replaced. Because whatever God has, it ain't going nowhere, right? You will be replaced. So don't let your heart and your emotions get in the way when people are being ungrateful, being disrespectful, and just not doing their job. Period. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.